Welcome to my channel, Gender Swap Zone. My mom secretly turned me into a girl to teach me a lesson. I never thought my secret would be discovered, let alone by my own mother. Growing up, I was always a bit different from other guys. I wasn't into sports or roughhousing. Instead, I found myself drawn to the soft fabrics of my mom's dresses, the delicate scent of her perfumes, the way a pair of heels could change the way someone carried themselves. But I buried that part of myself deep, hiding it beneath layers of masculinity. Now, at 21, I had built a life where I could control that secret. I lived in my own apartment, worked a respectable job at an advertising firm, and had a beautiful girlfriend, Emma. To the world, I was just another ordinary guy, responsible, dependable, and maybe a little too set in my ways. But behind closed doors, in the privacy of my bedroom, another side of me existed. I wasn't just fascinated by femininity. I longed for it. Crossdressing wasn't just a hobby, it was an escape. After a long, exhausting day at work, I would slip into silky lingerie, carefully apply makeup, and feel an overwhelming sense of relief. It wasn't just about the clothes. It was about feeling like me. But that secret was also my greatest fear. Emma was everything I could ever want in a partner, smart, kind, and full of life. But she had certain expectations. She loved my confidence, my strength. She loved the idea of a traditional, masculine boyfriend. And that terrified me. If she ever found out about my secret, would she still love me? Or would she see me as weak? Our relationship had been tense lately. Emma had been dropping hints about our future, marriage, a family, a real man to take care of her. I loved her, but every time she talked about our future, I felt a crushing weight on my chest. Because the man she wanted wasn't the man I really was. And then there was my mom. She was strict, always pushing me to be strong and independent. She raised me to be a man who took control of his life. If she knew the truth, I didn't even want to imagine how disappointed she would be. But as careful as I had always been, I had no idea that the very person I feared most would be the one to expose my secret and change my life forever. I let out a long sigh as I shut the door to my apartment, dropping my work bag onto the floor. The weight of the day clung to me, tight deadlines, endless meetings, and Emma's latest text about being more serious in our relationship. I knew what she meant. She wanted commitment, stability, a man who would take charge and lead the relationship. But right now, I wanted nothing more than to disappear into my secret world. My heart pounded as I walked into my bedroom, the anticipation already building inside me. The moment I stepped in, my gaze landed on the locked drawer in my closet, the one place where I kept everything hidden. I hesitated. Every time I did this, a storm of emotions brewed inside me. Excitement, relief, but also guilt. Was I betraying Emma by keeping this secret? Was I betraying myself by hiding it? I shook the thought away and unlocked the drawer, pulling it open to reveal the beautiful collection of clothes I had carefully hidden away. My fingers grazed over the soft fabrics, delicate lace, silky dresses, a pair of nude high heels I had bought online but never had the courage to wear. Tonight, I wanted to feel free. I chose a black satin slip dress, the fabric smooth against my skin as I held it up to my body. My hands trembled slightly as I undressed, trading my stiff button-up and slacks for the dress. As I pulled it over my head, the sensation sent a shiver down my spine. It hugged my body perfectly, flowing against me like a second skin. Next was the makeup. I had spent years watching tutorials, secretly practicing when I had the chance. I applied foundation, blending it until my skin looked flawless. A soft pink blush dusted my cheeks, adding a natural glow. Then, the final touch, lipstick. A deep red, bold, feminine. I barely recognized myself. Slipping on the heels, I stood in front of the mirror, my breath catching in my throat. The person staring back at me wasn't the stressed-out advertising professional. It wasn't the man Emma wanted me to be. It was me. For a few blissful moments, I let myself exist in this space, free from judgment, free from expectations. I moved around the room, adjusting to the heels, feeling the way the dress swayed with each step. Then a noise. I froze, my breath hitching. The sound of a key rattling in the lock. My heart pounded, so loudly I swore it would give me away. Emma wasn't supposed to be home yet. Panic surged through me as I stumbled back toward the closet, my hands shaking as I reached for the drawer. But my heels wobbled, and I nearly lost my balance. I kicked them off, rushing to strip out of the dress, but the zipper caught, refusing to budge. The door swung open. I stood there, half-dressed, caught between two identities, as Emma stepped inside. Her eyes widened, her lips parting in shock. The air in the room went still. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. And I had no idea how I was going to explain this. Time stretched into eternity as Emma's wide eyes locked onto mine. The weight of her silence pressed against my chest, suffocating me. My mind screamed for an explanation, an excuse, anything, but my lips refused to move. Emma's gaze drifted downward, taking in the black satin dress hugging my frame, the smear of red lipstick on my lips, the discarded heels on the floor. "Oh my God," she whispered. The moment shattered. I can explain," I stammered, my voice shaking. My hands scrambled for the zipper again, desperate to undo the evidence, to erase this moment before it was too late. But my fingers were clumsy, betraying my panic. Emma took a step closer. "Chris, what the hell is going on?" Before I could answer, before I could even process what was happening, a loud knock echoed through the apartment. Knock, knock, knock. Both of us jumped. I barely had time to register Emma's shocked expression before the knocking came again, more urgent this time. "Chris, open up, man." My blood ran cold. It was Ethan, my best friend, my coworker. I couldn't breathe. Emma's head snapped toward the door. "Why is Ethan here?" she hissed, her shock momentarily replaced by confusion. I don't know." My mind raced. Of all the nights, why tonight? Another knock. "Dude, I know you're in there. I saw your car outside. Come on, I just need to borrow something real quick." I turned to Emma, desperate. "Please, you have to stall him." She gave me a look, one that was half fury, half disbelief. But before she could argue, the door handle jiggled. "I have a spare key, man, don't make me use it." My stomach twisted in horror. "He has a key." Emma acted fast. She grabbed my wrist and yanked me toward the closet, practically shoving me inside. "Don't make a sound," she whispered harshly before shutting the door. Darkness swallowed me. My heart pounded in my ears as I crouched behind hanging coats, my breath shallow. Through the tiny slats of the closet door, I saw Emma smooth her expression, wiping away whatever shock she still carried. She marched toward the front door, unlocking it just as Ethan was about to push his way inside. "Jesus, Ethan," she snapped. "Do you always have to be so impatient?" Ethan grinned sheepishly. "Sorry. I didn't know if Chris was ignoring me or passed out." He glanced over her shoulder. "He is here, right?" Emma hesitated, just for a fraction of a second, but Ethan caught it. "What's going on?" His brows furrowed. "Did I interrupt something?" From my hiding place, I gripped the fabric of my dress, my knuckles white. If Ethan stepped even a few feet inside, he'd see the heels, the lipstick on the counter. Emma let out a dramatic sigh, rolling her eyes. "We were busy, Ethan. You really know how to pick your moments." Ethan blinked, then smirked. "Oh, that's what I walked in on." Emma folded her arms, the perfect picture of an annoyed girlfriend. "What do you want, Ethan?" "I left my laptop charger here after game night," he said. "I swear, if I don't grab it now, I'm gonna forget it and be screwed tomorrow." Emma hesitated again. I could feel her calculating the risks. If she let him in, even for a second, he'd see everything. "I'll get it," she said quickly, turning on her heel and marching toward the living room. Ethan started to follow. Panic seized me. If he walked past the bedroom, if he even glanced in this direction, he'd see the evidence. My breath caught as I shifted slightly, and in that moment, the worst possible thing happened. A soft thud sounded from the closet. I went rigid. Ethan's head snapped toward the bedroom. "What was that?" Emma froze mid-step. "What was what?" "I heard something," Ethan said, taking a step toward the hallway. I gritted my teeth, realizing what had happened. My wig, the one I had carefully set on the top shelf, had slipped and fallen onto the floor. I held my breath, willing myself to be invisible. Ethan took another step forward. Emma reacted fast. She reached out, grabbing his arm. "Ethan, seriously," she said, exasperated. "Do you always have to be nosy? You interrupted our night, The least you could do was get your charger and go. Ethan hesitated, his suspicion flickering. But then he smirked again, holding up his hands in surrender. All right, I get it. I'm leaving. I didn't breathe until I heard the door shut. For a long moment, silence filled the apartment. Then, the closet door creaked open. Light spilled in, revealing Emma standing there, arms crossed, lips pressed into a thin line. I swallowed hard. Start talking, she said. I had nowhere left to hide. Emma's stare burned into me, her arms still crossed as she stood in the doorway. The weight of the moment pressed down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. My voice cracked. My mind scrambled for the right words, but nothing felt right. Nothing felt enough. Emma's eyes flicked over me again, lingering on the dress, the smeared lipstick, the stockings hugging my legs. Her expression wasn't just shock anymore, it was something deeper. Something unreadable. Chris, she said slowly, how long has this been going on? I swallowed hard. The air between us was electric, the tension unbearable. My heart pounded, my pulse deafening in my ears. I could tell the truth. I could finally admit everything. The doorbell rang. Both of us jumped. Emma turned toward the sound, her brow furrowing. Who the hell? Another knock. More urgent this time. I felt my stomach drop. Chris, open up. My breath hitched. I knew that voice. It wasn't Ethan this time. It was my boss. My blood ran cold. Emma's eyes snapped back to me, her face a mixture of confusion and dawning realization. What the hell is going on? She whispered. I didn't have an answer. The knocking grew louder. I had nowhere left to run. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and found the content valuable, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on all our latest content and be part of our growing community. We appreciate your support, and we can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, stay tuned and take care.